Hello class, I'm so glad you could join me for today's video lesson. As you know, when you left the class today, I gave you two things. I gave you a wonderful poem by Robert Frost and a blank note card. And during this lesson, you're going to learn what you're going to do with those two things to be prepared for tomorrow's class. And what you're going to do has to do with the title you see on the screen, Save the Last Word for Me. And what that title is the name of a protocol. A protocol is just a procedure or system of rules. So you may be wondering, Ms. Mazar, why would you get so excited about a system of rules, of protocol? But actually, this protocol has the potential to help you become a better reader and someone who contributes your own ideas to a conversation. So the first thing you're going to do is read the poem. Now this protocol can be used with any text, not just poems, but we're going to start with the poem that I gave you by Robert Frost. And as you read, you're going to pay attention to things that make you question, things that you really like or don't like, or something that reminds you of experiences you've had in your own life. Next, you're going to reflect. Now, you've had practice reflecting in class, and this really is no different. So you're going to think about all the things that stuck out to you as you read and apply them to your life, to other books that you've read, or to the world as you know it. And then another thing that we do in class is discuss. I know you're very good at discussing, but we're going to use this protocol to do it in a different way. After a discussion, you often leave with new ideas or concepts that you didn't have when you first reflected. And so after the discussion, it's time to respond and maybe say something new or repeat what you had thought before in your own reflection. So this process is what we're going to go through using the protocol I mentioned called Save the Last Word for Me. So in this protocol, while you're reading, you make note of certain passages or concepts that stick out to you. And on one side of a note card, you're going to write either a direct quote from the poem or just a couple words or a concept from the poem that you want to reflect on. And then you're going to flip the note card over. And on the other side, you're going to write your reflection about it. It doesn't have to be long or complicated, just something that you thought about as you read the specific quote that you wrote on the other side of the note card. You're going to want to explain why it was important to you or why it made you question or simply relate an experience you've had in your own life. And then when you get together in a group, which we're going to do in class tomorrow, you take turns. When it's your turn, you read the quote or concept from the poem that you chose to reflect on. But instead of just going ahead and sharing your reflection right away, you're going to give the other people in your group an opportunity to reflect on the same passage you found important. So after each group member shares something that they thought of when you read the quote that you chose, you're going to have the chance to respond after hearing everything that they said and after considering what you reflected on in the first place. You're going to have the last word. Now, this is a very important time for you because you have decisions to make. You can either just read the reflection that you made at the beginning or incorporate some of your classmates' questions and ideas into what you have to say. This is your opportunity to take ownership of your ideas, tie them to the text that you've all read and discussed, and make connections for your group. So, let's do it. You have the poem in front of you and hopefully that note card. So take some time now to read the poem, The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. It's a very famous poem, and I'm so excited that you get this opportunity to look at it in this way. So you're going to read it, and all the while be paying attention to things that are important to you or that you can connect to your own life. Next, you're going to use that note card. On the first side, you're going to write down a quote or an idea from the poem that you want to reflect on. On side 2, you're going to reflect. And these are some ideas to get you started. Maybe you want to write a question. Maybe you want to write about what you think the poet, Frost, is trying to say, or describe something, an experience from your own life. Or maybe you want to talk about how the words impacted you. Any of these things are just fine. And then tomorrow, when we all come back together, we're going to have the discussion and respond to what we've read, reflected on, and talked about with our peers. See you tomorrow.